Good evening, everybody. It is February 13th, 2018, 6:57 p.m., and we have somewhat of an ongoing situation right now at Mount Hood. That is in Oregon. It is a popular climbing mountain, particularly for skiers and ice pickers. And I've been watching the Weather Channel for the last couple hours, and there's been a rescue going on. Now, before I go on to exactly what's been going on, Mount Hood, you can see right here on Google Earth, is somewhat close to, well, it's actually a volcano itself, but if you notice right here, we have Mount St. Helens, then we have Mount Adams, and then a little bit up here, we have Mount Rainier. So, four volcanoes and a few more smaller ones in the area just to give you a layout of the land, but we are particularly talking about Mount Hood here. I have some footage pulled up from the news that I've been watching. Again, this is an ongoing situation. There's one person that is feared dead that fell about 1,000 feet, they're saying. There was some disturbing footage. I'm only going to show a little bit of this. This is, looks like a crew giving CPR to someone. I'm going to lower the audio for copyright. You can clearly see this guy giving CPR to the one that fell. They're saying that this guy fell between 750 and 1,000 feet. And the sad part about this clip is that this is a news camera that's filming this, so they are in no way equipped to do any sort of rescuing. And you can see either these persons' friends or fellow climbers that have come down and helped this guy are waving at the camera, almost telling them, like, come on, please come help us. They're like waving jackets, and they're picking up flash blankets and stuff to try to wave over like we need help. And you can even hear the anchor saying it's very unfortunate because these choppers are not made to do this. So the latest I heard was they were sending a Black Hawk helicopter from about 2 hours away, which really took about that time. Now, I have clips of that as well. I'll come off this clip here. Um, there's also video of other scalers that were on the mountain. A lot of people scale this mountain during the year, usually between the months of April and July. We are in February, so you would expect it to be extra cold and icy, but the issue here, what they figured out, and if you notice this path right here, this debris path, it looks to be exactly where this person fell. And I have a few other shots up here where it's almost like a dirt outing within the snow and ice. And there was one shot I saw, I didn't get on tape, where you could almost see where this guy was clawing down this dirt mountain before he actually fell. They did confirm it was a male, and this is kind of where he rested here, and they estimated this to be between 750 and 1,000 feet. They did confirm at one point that he was traveling with a group of 4 people, so I'm assuming these are the other 4, maybe 5 guys that were with him, maybe a woman that actually had to scale back down to get to their friend, and then you just saw that clip of them giving CPR, which is never a good sign. They were doing CPR for well over an hour when I was filming. I got a little bit of footage of the Black Hawk helicopter making its approach to the group of people here. Again, you can see that debris line there where this person may have fallen, and then they landed right here. Very unfortunate situation. There's actually, from a news conference I just watched, between 8 and 15 people, which breaks into about 3 or 4 groups that need rescuing right now. There's one other group that is injured. I believe it's a leg injury, but they look to be on a plateau, so they're safe for now. They have a cell phone. They're staying in contact with authorities. They're telling them to keep the phone off and then turn it back on to save battery, because the biggest issue here right now is they're expecting some severe weather by nightfall. So they're trying to get all these people. There's 4 different groups, and I have, again, a few different videos. Here's one video of them lowering down a rescue guy who is clearly going for that one that they were doing CPR to. You can tell it does get a bit windy. This guy starts swaying back and forth, and he ends up landing about 100 yards away from where these people actually are. Those are hand signals to direct where they need the line to go. Again, I don't want to show too much of the TV broadcast due to copyright stuff. They love to get you for copyright on YouTube. Let's see. This is actually a video of them lowering the stretcher, and you can just get an idea of the wind going on. Look at this thing. This thing's just whipping around. Eventually, this thing, they almost had to drop it down. They had to cut the line and drop it. And what these things have is they have little spikes on the bottom, and they're meant to stick. And that's actually what it did. It stuck down to the ground, and then that rescue guy you just saw getting lowered actually had to crawl his way to the stretcher and then drag it back up to the injured party. Again, very unfortunate situation. I do have some snapshots to show you, but one thing I want to show you that's clearly shows what may have been the cause of this. I will play the audio for this. Hopefully there's no copyright issues here. I'm going to pause it here, but you listen to these two guys talking about how they were called on phone by this group of people saying that it was basically a bowling alley of rocks and ice falling towards them, and you can see they're in somewhat of a crevice. You could see the side of the mountain comes down this way, and then it looks like a pitch this way. So anything that's falling up here is coming straight down at these people, and unfortunately, because of their injured friend, they can't even move him to one side or the other. And if you notice, I'm going to play the audio here. Whatever. I'll risk the copyright for this. You got to hear this. As they're talking about how they're describing the bowling alley situation of rocks and ice falling, they clearly show video of these two guys right here blocking rocks and ice from hitting their friend. Now, I'm going to hit play here and check this out. This is pretty wild stuff. They're assuming the guy was alive, being that they stretchered him out, but they were giving CPR for clear over an hour. Now watch this part. I'm going to move forward a little bit, hopefully avoiding this copyright situation. But what I want you to watch is this area here, and then I want you to watch these two people here. They're basically standing guard and dodging and pushing away rocks and ice as they fall, as this interview is going on. And just at the end of this interview, the guy says they described it as a bowling alley. Now watch this. Look at these two. They are dodging these falling rocks. You could see the ice and the rocks falling there. I'll back up a little bit. There's pieces just falling left and right at the guy they're trying to help here. And now listen. The quote was, it was like a bowling alley. So clearly a bad situation going on here. Again, this is Mount Hood in Oregon. And the issue here is a lot of these climbers, they start their trips around 1 a.m., 2 in the morning where it's very cold, and they try to make it up and down within a day. Some of them pack food for 2 days, knowing that once they get to the peak, they may camp out and then come back down the next day. But what's going on here is that the conditions were fine to climb early in the morning, and then when the sun hit the face of that specific part of the mountain. Let's get to the snapshots here I have for you. You can see Mount St. Helens in the background here. This is the face of the mountain where this all took place, and you can see the sun is clearly beating down on it. You can see other climbers all over this mountain, and they were all trying to make their way down. These are all separate groups trying to make their way down to this injured group. I don't know if this guy's injured or not, or if they're just taking a break. He's clearly on some sort of cell phone or radio right now, trying to maybe get some ideas of what's going on. But this turned into a from one rescue to now 8 to 15 people needing to be rescued because of hazardous conditions. So, and I noticed while watching the news, they were showing live video, and you could just see little pieces of ice and rock falling from all different directions. So the sun and these rising temperatures are clearly causing issues on this mountain, just as all these groups of people are there. Here's another separate group, and I believe I have a photo just to give you like a ratio of how big this mountain is. Here's a person up here, here's one here, and we're talking steep stuff here. They're wearing full gear. They got the ice cleats on. They have ice picks in their hands, and a lot of the videos show them basically tiptoeing down this mountain after getting word that there's not they didn't have any avalanche potential. I heard them saying on the news that there was no avalanche risk for this day, but during the videos I was watching, you can clearly see ice and snow falling from all directions. Now here's a wide out view. This I had a clear picture of when I was filming it. It looks like what happened was the guy that fell, he moved his way over to this dirt area thinking maybe he'd get some traction. And one of the pictures I saw, it almost looked as if he had his fingers gripped into this dirt and just slid down all the way down to this area. And you can see this path of debris where it looks like he fell. Very scary stuff, guys. Here's the second group. One of these two men here are injured. I believe it was a broken leg, and they were able to bring their friend over to a flat level. This was the group that was on the cell phone that was told to stay put because they had to do basically a triage situation where they had to wait for that Black Hawk helicopter to come and rescue that guy they were doing CPR on. And now this other group is just sitting here waiting to be rescued. So those are the clips I have right now, guys. This is an ongoing situation. They are still playing clips from this on the Weather Channel if anyone's interested. Like I said, that one guy they were doing CPR on, I'm not sure 100% whether he passed away or not. You heard in that interview that usually when they put the guy in the stretcher that quick, that does show signs of life. But again, I was watching for almost 2 hours of this one guy giving this man CPR, and if that's happening, then that's usually not a good situation. So, once again, guys, we have a big issue going on at Mount Hood, which is very close to Mount St. Helens volcano. We have Adams volcano, and then just to the north of that, we have volcano Mount Rainier. And that's what I have for you for now, guys. I do have another weather update coming up. I'm going to be following these cyclones going on. New Caledonia could be at risk, and then of course New Zealand, just as tropical cyclone Gita expands and basically covers the entire island of New Zealand, guys. So New Zealand needs to prepare, and the south end of New Caledonia needs to prepare in case that storm continues to move west. All right, that's what I have for you now, guys. Stay safe, and I will talk to you very soon. Prayers go out to these people stuck on this mountain right now. That must be one scary situation. I would not want to be there right now, especially with nighttime closing in and all these different groups needing rescuing. And they're expecting some really bad weather coming up overnight. So I'll be following this as well. Thanks for your time, guys. I will be in touch. Take care.